Hey everybody, this is a quick video to show you how you can do zoom and pan of videos in Corel VideoStudio. Now, zoom and pan of videos is different than photographs, so we're going to show you how to do the videos here. So the first thing, of course, that you need to do is put your video clip in the timeline. The next thing is you want to go to this FX filter and click on that. Now, there's lots of video things, and the one that you want to use, it's not called pan, it's not called zoom, it's called video pan and zoom, and so you go to here. Now if you're not familiar with filters, you can right click on that and add it to your favorites, and then you'll have the my favorites and you can select on that, so you can see I've added it to my favorites. But in any case, you just drag it to your video clip that you want to zoom and pan, and you'll see that an FX is placed in the upper left corner to show you that you've got this filter applied. So the next thing you want to do is click on Options and notice that you can change the video options or the attributes. So we want attribute, and you can customize this filter. Notice that you can use multiple filters. So what you're going to do here is we're going to select a video pan and zoom and customize that filter, and up comes a dialog, and so this is how we control our zooming and panning. So on the left hand side is the video, and you can see the controls for determining how much of a zoom that you have, and these little plus symbols that control how you focus the camera, and on the right hand side is the preview. Here we have the timeline, and we will be adding keyframes to the timeline. Down here are some anchors, and I'll show you how that works. So let me now to focus on a particular area. The idea behind this is that you're focusing your camera and then you're zooming in. So right here, the one that's red is the one that you can move. Now, unlike some other things, if you've used rectangles to select area, when I drag this corner, it doesn't just move this left and top line. It's going to move all of them, because the idea is you're zooming into this central point. So if I take this point, and also I can't just click and drag the rectangle itself, but let's zoom in on his face here. So I'm going to take this red symbol, this plus, and focus on his face, and then I'm going to drag a corner to zoom in. So that's the reason that this is designed this way. I actually wish they had a toggle to switch between dragging just a corner and zooming into the center, and we'll show you why in just a second. So let's say that we wanted to do that. But now, on the other hand, let me show you some problems. Let's say that I want to fill this out to be the same size as this window here. Well, I don't. I'm off. Now I got to move this over and move it. Well, the easy way to do this, that's what these anchor things are about. So if my video is smaller, my zoomed in area is smaller than the whole video, I can anchor it to the top left, to the top middle, or wherever I want. So an easy way to get to the full screen is to select the middle, and now I can drag this control out, and now we've got the full video. And so that's an easy way to do that. Also, just notice here that we've got two pluses. If I click here, I will accidentally move the other keyframe. So that's kind of a problem, and I'll talk a little bit about this in a second. But the basic way that you want to do your video is that I am going to take my scrubber, this little handle here, and I'm going to move along and find the places where I want to put keyframes, the key places that I want to zoom and pan. So let's say right now I don't want to actually see this zooming. I don't want to see it the way it is, so I can go here and I can right click on a keyframe and I can say copy and paste to all, copy and delete intermediate, copy and paste all right. So those are very helpful things. I'm going to copy and paste all. So now we can see that we're not doing any zooming and panning. Okay, so we might find the key places that we're interested in. So let's say I want to zoom into his face here. So I'm going to add a keyframe by clicking on this plus. So I want to do a keyframe there. And then let's say as soon as I open the box, well, let's add another keyframe because I want to keep this. I want to copy this keyframe to here because I don't want to start zooming and panning until he opens the box. So let's do that, and I'm going to click a plus here, and then I'll zoom in to this panel here, this thing. So let's say put a plus here. So we've got a couple of keyframes here. So now what we want to do is try to move and zoom and pan. So I'm going to come here, and what I want to do is I want to zoom in on his face. So I'm going to drag that and drag it over here. But notice the thing that happened. The keyframe changed. And that is one of the big challenges with this. But let me show you how to work around that. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just going to move that keyframe out of the way. So I'm going to come back to this particular keyframe, and I'm going to try to move and focus on his face. Okay, so that's the correct keyframe. We're good on that. So now I'm going to zoom into his face. There we go. We zoom in on his face, and now I'm going to copy that keyframe, and I'm going to come to this next keyframe. But instead of dragging my scrubber or clicking on it, notice that there's a left arrow and a right arrow. So I'm going to click on the right arrow to go to the next keyframe, and I'm just going to go right, click, and paste. So now what we have in this section here, if you'll look at it, so we're kind of looking the preview area here, and we can see that we're zooming and panning into this first place, and then we keep it constant to here. And now at this point, I'm going to zoom and pan to this place. So what I want to do is I want to focus on this board here. Okay? Pay attention that we have actually moved that keyframe, so that's a good thing. So now I'm going to zoom in and pan onto that board someplace. Let's say that I even want to, focus on, these tile portions here. So let's do that. Okay. And there we go. We got some zooming and panning. And then finally, we zoom out. So that's how we control the zooming and the panning. But if you remember, on the first keyframe, we actually had it in the wrong position. So that's a trick that you can do, is just go to the particular keyframe, and if it's in the way, just drag it out of the way for a bit, and so that you can see all of the pluses as separate. So once you've got the size correct, then you can position them properly at the end. So I'm just going to take this back, and I'm going to click center to anchor. And so now we have it in the right position again. So there we go. Zoom in, stay there. Zoom into here, and then zoom out. The only other thing to show is you can play, and you'll see what happens in the zooming. You can pause the play. You can change the speed and some other things. You can use grid lines if you want. You can switch keyframes, and you can change transparency. So by here, when I change the transparency, notice that it's a kind of a fade out. So, and that's what these fade out things are. And then this slider here is just a control of the amount of zoom. It's just another way to change how much you're zooming. And of course you can change the background color, and you can say it so that you have no panning. So anyway, that's how you do the zoom and pan. When you click OK, then you'll see the effect. If I draw my scrubber, we can see that we're zoomed and panned in that video. So I hope that was helpful, and enjoy creating videos.